So it's a good way to find them, or bicycling tours in Tampa, see if something comes up. So those are adventure
And we're
tours.
going to go a little bit more into that on part 2, right? How to get hired.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay,
We'll talk more
good.
about that. Student tour leader is another position. And I'm going to let Linda talk about this because this is what she does.
I do.
Go ahead.
I do it more just in the spring, and you're going to be taking anywhere from 5th graders to high schoolers. And you have a busload of people, of kids who are just, chomping at the bit to learn about where we're going. So anywhere from New York to Boston to DC is where I lead. And just the history of the country and giving that to them. I'm not a teacher, but I can give this information in a fun, exciting way that keeps them all engaged. And we have group leaders and we have the parents. So you've got kind of the gambit, but it's a super fun way if you like kids to get on the road and see, the history of the US. So I highly recommend student tours if it's something that you like. And, I talked earlier about how I got into it. Age is not a problem. If you want to get into it later in life, they love anybody who's interested in talking about history. So student tours is something I would recommend.
Yeah, most people don't even go into this job till their kids are grown. Like you, they
Right.
don't know about the job.
Correct.
They don't even know it exists until after the kids are grown. They go, oh, this is great. So age is your ability outweighs. And wouldn't you feel better on tours and such with somebody a little more mature than some young kid going, yay. I mean, there's wonderful jobs for the younger people too. Not that they can't do it, but I think the maturity. And I always say moms make great tour directors because they have that experience of taking people on a trip with a heart, so.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I think the parents are more comfortable having an older tour director, putting their children in the hands of somebody who's an older tour director. So yeah, that's, it's been fun.
And talk a little bit about the parents that are on the trip. Aren't they usually the kids I know are excited to be there. They're excited.
The parents are, you'd think that you'd have issues with kids being unruly, and no, it's the parents. They come on thinking I'm not chaperoning, I'm on vacation. So you do have to do a little corralling of the parents versus the kids, but it still turns out to be just as you said, at the end, you're like, it's a lot of hard work, but at the end you're like, that was the best tour ever. I mean, it's just super fun. And you could be so creative. You can be creative with the adults as well. And I am, but with the kids, we just do so many fun things. So
yeah. And they also have performance student tours. So you're taking them on the history, that kind of tour, but they also have performance tours. I don't know why my phone's ringing, it's disconnected. But the performance tours are like where you take a group to Disneyland or you take a group to Disney World, and they have what they call magic music days. So if you are into that kind of thing and you love working with kids, usually it starts like on a Thursday. You take them to Disneyland or Disney World. They spend a few days. They might tour the local area, and then they're off to they're home again. Can pay very well, but plus you get paid to go to Disneyland and Disney World, and hopefully Disneyland will be opening soon. So we'll be able to do that again.
Yeah.
And there's sports tours.
Sorry, a little bit more on the performance.